When people think of Cambodia, they often picture the grandeur of Angkor Wat or the mystical Apsara Dance. But behind these icons lies a culture full of surprises, where girls have love huts, pink curtains signal coming of age, and children learn to row before they can walk. A small country with endless wonders. Are you ready to explore it? Cambodia, the cultural crossroads of Southeast Asia. Though small in size on the regional map, Cambodia holds a strategically irreplaceable role in the cultural and historical flow of Southeast Asia. Located at the heart of the Indochinese Peninsula, Cambodia serves as a connecting hub between three neighboring countries: Thailand to the west, Laos to the north, and Vietnam to the east. But what makes Cambodia truly special isn't just its geography. It's the way it acts as a cultural bridge, where streams of religion, art, and local traditions intertwine to create a uniquely rich identity. From the 9th to the 15th century, the Khmer Empire rose to become one of Asia's most powerful civilizations, leaving behind a monumental legacy best embodied by the Angkor Wat complex, the world's largest religious monument, remarkable not only in scale but also in spiritual depth. With thousands of intricately carved bas-reliefs, Angkor Wat is more than an architectural feat. It's a stone encyclopedia detailing the Khmer worldview, religious beliefs, and aesthetic sensibilities. Today, the temple still graces the Cambodian national flag, a symbol of national pride and a timeless testament to the country's enduring cultural vitality. If Cambodia is the cultural bridge of Southeast Asia, does that make Angkor Wat the ultimate toll booth? Let us know. What surprised you most about Cambodia's history? Sambia, a small gesture with profound meaning. In Cambodian culture, communication is not merely the exchange of information, but a social and spiritual ritual. Nothing expresses this more clearly than the Sambia, the traditional Khmer greeting. Placing the palms together in front of the chest and bowing the head may seem simple, yet it carries deep layers of meaning. The higher the hands are held, the greater the respect being shown, from greeting friends as equals to showing reverence to monks or royalty. This is not just an external formality. It's an expression of social understanding, humility, and heartfelt respect for the community. What's interesting is that Sambia isn't reserved only for Cambodians. Visitors who learn to greet using Sambia are often warmly received, as it's seen as a sign of respect and goodwill. In an increasingly globalized world where communication is often rushed and impersonal, Sambia serves as a reminder of the importance of etiquette, reverence, and heartfelt human connection. Try the Sambia next time instead of a handshake. You might not get a business deal, but you could earn a mango and a smile. Have you ever greeted someone in a different cultural style? Share your funniest or most awkward moment. Phnom Penh, a capital of memory and aspiration. If Cambodia were a long narrative, then Phnom Penh would be both its emotional prologue and its contemplative epilogue. In the 1960s, this city was once hailed as the Pearl of Asia, with its wide boulevards, tree-lined avenues, and French-style villas evoking the image of a miniature Paris in the east. But political upheavals, especially during the Khmer Rouge era, left deep scars on the soul of the city. Today, Phnom Penh is experiencing a revival, slowly emerging from the shadows of its past and moving toward a future filled with promise. Modern skyscrapers now rise beside ancient temples. Traditional bustling markets coexist with gleaming shopping centers. Yet what makes Phnom Penh stand out isn't the pace of its development. It's the way the city preserves a spirit of depth, reflection, and unhurried living. You might come across a monk walking calmly along a red-tiled riverside path by the Tonle Sap River, while just a few steps away, young people gather at cafes, discussing startups or street art. This city is a portrait of contrasts that do not conflict, a place where people look toward the future while continually engaging in dialogue with history. Every street corner, every person in Phnom Penh seems to carry a story of resilience, of compassion, and above all, of a determined desire to live beyond loss. The pink curtain, a silent sign of love. In many rural areas of Cambodia, where life remains closely tied to traditional customs, there's no need for loud announcements or flashy declarations to signal changes within a family. Instead, a subtle gesture, a pink curtain hung in front of the house, conveys a deeply refined cultural message. a daughter in the family has reached marriageable age. This curtain is not merely a decorative item or sunshade. It's a socially symbolic signal. It's discreet yet dignified. It informs while preserving the girl's honor. Unlike modern public displays, such as debut parties or social media posts, the pink curtain is how Cambodians protect privacy while maintaining strong social ties within close-knit communities. The curtain is thoughtfully chosen. Pink often represents gentleness, femininity, and the hopeful beginning of married life. When a family hangs such a curtain, it subtly attracts the attention of local bachelors and elders alike, creating an opening for matchmaking to begin gently and consensually. On a broader level, this curtain reveals how Cambodian society navigates the relationship between the individual and the community. Nothing is purely personal, yet nothing is overly intrusive. Every signal is read and responded to within the bounds of values like respect, discretion, and tradition. Tattoos, silent marks of virtue and beauty. In some traditional Khmer communities, especially in remote areas where local culture is still deeply rooted, small tattoos are not an expression of individuality as in the West, but rather a social marker rich with meaning. Certain girls, considered to be both physically beautiful and morally upright, graceful, respectful, and well-mannered, may quietly be blessed with a small tattoo by midwives or elder women in the village. These tattoos are usually placed in discreet areas such as behind the neck, on the back of the hand, or the wrist. What's remarkable is that not everyone is eligible to receive such a mark. It is seen as a form of recognition and honor, signifying a young woman's virtue and attractiveness. In traditional Khmer society, where collective values and moral standards are central, being chosen in this way is a source of pride for the entire family. These tattoos don't flaunt beauty, but act more like an invisible signature within the community. Those with keen insight will notice, and those who understand will respect. Anthropologists note that such tattoos are not tools of control, but a form of acknowledging intangible qualities in a society with limited administrative tools like paperwork or formal qualifications. This serves as evidence that, in Khmer tradition, beauty is inseparable from virtue, and that complete beauty is a balance of outer grace and inner character, a concept that even modern societies still strive to achieve. Kampong Pluk, life on Tonle Sap's waters. Kampong Pluk is unlike any other place. Situated on the banks of Tonle Sap, the largest freshwater ecosystem in Southeast Asia, this village isn't built on land, but on water, or more precisely, on towering stilt houses designed to adapt to the flood season. Each year, during the rainy season, water levels rise by several meters, submerging typical roads. But for the people of Kampong Pluk, this is not a disaster. It's just a natural part of life. They live in homes raised 6-10 meters above the water, travel by boat, grow vegetables using floating containers, and teach school lessons in wooden classrooms built above the lake. Children here learn to swim before they can run and master paddling before they can write. Astonishingly, all aspects of life, from shopping and schooling to Buddhist ceremonies, carry on smoothly, even serenely. There is no sense of panic or instability, just a calm rhythm of water and humanity. Many visitors say they're captivated not only by the visual uniqueness of the place, but by the community's strength and their graceful water-adapted way of life. Kampong Pluk is more than a place to live. It's a symbol of resilient adaptation and a model of symbiosis between humans and the natural environment, something that many modern, over-concretized cities are slowly losing. Krung Love Hut, emotional wisdom before marriage. Among Cambodia's most fascinating indigenous customs, the Love Hut tradition of the Krung people, a minority ethnic group living in the northeastern highlands, stands out as a clear example of open-mindedness and progressiveness in views on love and marriage. Traditionally, when a Krung girl reaches adulthood, around 16 to 18 years old, her parents build her a small hut made of bamboo near the family home. This is not a place of exile, but a private space where she can meet, interact with, and even date young men from the village. Within the Love Hut, there is no pressure, no prejudice, only mutual respect and the chance to explore emotions in a healthy, conscious way. If a relationship develops seriously, both families will sit down to discuss the possibility of marriage. On the other hand, if feelings do not deepen, either party can walk away without community judgment. This custom helps prevent forced marriages and avoids unions lacking emotional foundations. Researchers of this practice believe the love hut is a sophisticated form of emotional education that not only protects young women, but also empowers them to take control of their feelings and decisions. In an age when many modern societies still struggle with gender biases and autonomy in marriage, the Krung, a little-known minority, offer a model that gives the world much to reflect upon. So, a private bamboo hut for dating? Sounds like the Krung people invented Tinder, but with better ventilation. Would you survive in a no-swipe, face-to-face dating culture like this? Let us know in the comments. Respect the head, honor in Khmer culture. In Cambodian belief, especially among Theravada Buddhists, the head is considered the most sacred part of the human body. The Khmer people believe the head is the seat of the soul, the center of one's spiritual energy, wisdom, and virtue. That's why touching someone's head, even with good intentions, is viewed as deeply disrespectful and can cause genuine emotional harm. This belief is especially evident in traditional settings. For example, if a stranger or even a close friend were to pat a child's head affectionately, as is common in the West, Khmer people might interpret it as a serious insult to the child's dignity or spiritual integrity. What's notable is that this rule applies to everyone, regardless of age or status. Children, adults, the elderly, and even monks must all be respected equally. The head is a sacred zone that no one may touch casually. As a result, in Cambodian social interactions, intimate gestures like stroking hair or resting a hand on someone's head are extremely rare. Instead, respectful gestures from a distance, like bowing slightly, placing hands together in a Sambia, or offering a soft verbal greeting, are preferred. From a modern perspective, this can be seen as a powerful lesson in personal boundaries and respect. It shows that Khmer culture is highly sensitive to bodily autonomy. Even unintentional violations can hurt. It reminds us that every culture has its own invisible, sacred spaces, where empathy builds bridges and ignorance can cause unintended harm. Khmer weddings, a sacred passage. A Cambodian wedding is not just a family affair. It's a spiritual, communal ritual that often spans 2 to 3 days, filled with elaborate traditional ceremonies that resemble a mythical performance. For generations, the Khmer people have believed that marriage is not merely a bond between two individuals, but a union of families, a bridge between the seen and unseen worlds, a fusion of ancestral blessings with the family's future. One of the most symbolic rites is the ceremonial haircut. The bride and groom sit facing each other in ornate traditional attire, as representatives from each family perform a mock haircut, symbolically removing past negativity and cutting away old ties to begin a new life chapter. Another vital tradition is the tying of red threads around the couple's wrists. This is done by respected elders and serves as both a blessing and a transfer of positive energy to protect the newlyweds from harm. A particularly mystical ritual takes place at midnight when the family lights candles, chants prayers, and invites guardian spirits to enter the ceremony, blessing the marriage with harmony and fertility. Khmer weddings don't emphasize material grandeur but focus on symbolism and spiritual connection, linking ancestors, community, and the metaphysical. It stands as proof that in Khmer society, marriage is more than a legal contract. It's a sacred rite of passage, charged with spiritual weight and lifelong responsibility. Gold, a living bank in the hearts of Cambodians. While many countries are embracing digital economies and high-tech financial systems, in Cambodia, gold continues to hold a profoundly special place in people's mindset when it comes to asset accumulation. From rural areas to bustling cities, from the wealthy to the middle class, Cambodians favor saving gold, whether in the form of small ingots, bracelets, or necklaces. Instead of depositing money into banks, many families prefer to store wealth at home in the form of 24K gold, which is seen as a tangible and trustworthy asset. This custom is rooted in Cambodia's turbulent history. Years of war, economic crises, and the collapse of financial institutions eroded public trust in formal banking systems. Meanwhile, gold, an eternal metal with global value, emerged as the safest, most portable, and most storable form of wealth. Moreover, in traditional Khmer society, owning gold also reflects social status. During weddings, childbirths, housewarmings, or elderly celebrations, Gifting gold is not only a gesture of goodwill, but also a symbol of prestige, honor, and prosperity. Cambodian mothers often teach their daughters how to evaluate gold quality and distinguish carats, much like Westerners teach their children how to invest in stocks. This reveals that gold in Cambodia is more than a material possession. It is part of the nation's financial identity, where safety, trust, and value are all intimately tied to that glimmering metal. Traditional festivals, community as ritual. Cambodian culture cannot be separated from its festivals, occasions when entire communities seem to enter a transformative state between earthly life and spiritual space. The three most important annual celebrations are Chol Chnam Thmay, Khmer New Year, Chum Ben, Ancestral Worship, and Bon Om Tuk, Water Festival, all deeply connected to the cycles of nature, Buddhist beliefs, and a profound sense of community. Chol Chnam Thmay, Khmer New Year, held in April, is when people clean their homes, offer prayers at temples, bathe Buddha statues, and join in folk games like blindfolded pot breaking, tug of war, and ring toss. It's more than just a New Year celebration. It's a moment to cleanse the soul, reconnect with family, and rediscover peace after a busy year. Chum Ben, observed around September, is a 15-day ritual honoring ancestral spirits, when it is believed the souls of the dead return to the human realm. Families bring food, fruit, and incense to temples, both to express filial piety and to appease wandering souls, ensuring they do not disturb the living. What stands out here is not fear, but a spiritual harmony between worlds, an expression of belief in reincarnation and ancestral grace. Lastly, Bonum Tuk, the Grand Boat Racing Festival, is not only a sporting event, but a celebration of the Tonle Sap River's miraculous flow reversal, marking a fruitful harvest season. Long, narrow boats filled with rowers glide through the water amid roaring cheers, an electrifying yet sacred atmosphere. Each festival is more than a break from routine. It is a collective transformation, where Cambodians renew their spirits, honor their roots, and affirm their national identity through drum beats, incense smoke, and the eternal rhythm of Khmer culture. Apsara Dance, Sacred Bridge to Heaven. More than just a dance, Apsara is an ancient artistic heritage, a physical language bridging humans and deities in Khmer culture. Originating from Hindu mythological dancing goddesses and vividly portrayed in Angkor Wat's bas-reliefs, the Apsara dance is a fusion of beauty, spirituality, and cosmic symbolism. What makes Apsara extraordinary is its richness of movement, over 1,500 gestures involving hands, feet, neck, and eyes. Each gesture carries a unique message: flowing water, blooming flowers, birds in flight, rising suns, or glowing moons. Every performance tells a story, and each motion is a word in a body language grammar only Khmer people truly comprehend. An Apsara dancer doesn't simply learn steps. They undergo years of training to master grace, precision, and inner spirit. Professional dancers are usually selected from a young age and trained through traditional methods, much like no theater actors in Japan or Balinese dancers in Indonesia, where art is not just a skill, but a form of meditation and cultural duty. Today, Apsara dance is not only performed for tourists, but also featured in sacred ceremonies, ancestral rites, temple inaugurations, or national commemorations. In Cambodian consciousness, Apsara is not merely dance. It is the living spirit of an entire civilization, expressed through movement and gaze. Vespa and Flavors, a tasty ride through Cambodia. If you want to understand a culture, start with its food. But to truly experience Cambodian cuisine in its most vivid, authentic form, many international travelers are opting for a unique way to explore: the Vintage Vespa Food Tour, a perfect blend of nostalgia, speed, and intimate street connection. Riding classic Italian Vespas in shades of red, forest green, or ivory, visitors are taken through narrow alleys, night markets, and roadside eateries, places where traditional Khmer dishes are prepared right before their eyes. From amok, steamed fish in banana leaves with rich coconut milk, to crispy Khmer pancakes served with fresh herbs, or the intensely flavorful prahok fermented fish paste, the soul of Khmer street meals, each bite unveils an unforgettable flavor journey. What makes the tour even more engaging is that the guides are more than just culinary navigators. They are storytellers. They share the origins of each dish, regional variations, eating customs, and even the personal stories of local vendors. As a result, guests don't just eat, they understand. They don't just taste, they feel. The Vespa food tour is living proof that Cambodian cuisine is not flashy but deeply expressive, not complicated but full of identity. It's how a culture tells its stories through taste, laughter, and the winding lanes along the Mekong. Food on a Vespa, that's not just dinner, it's dinner with a helmet. If you had to ride through a city tasting street food, which dish would make you hit the brakes for seconds? Let us know your ultimate foodie stop. Angkor Wat, timeless symbol of Khmer spirit. When speaking of Cambodia, one simply cannot ignore Angkor Wat, not only the country's most iconic temple, but also a spiritual, architectural, and intellectual symbol of the Khmer people. Built in the 12th century by King Suryavarman II to honor the god Vishnu, Angkor Wat is the largest Hindu temple in the world, and later transitioned into a Buddhist temple, illustrating the historical harmony between spiritual traditions in Cambodia. Angkor Wat is more than a structure. It is a universe carved in stone. The temple towers represent Mount Meru, the mythological center of the cosmos in Hindu belief, while the surrounding corridors symbolize oceans, and the thousands of intricate bas-reliefs tell legends, depict dances, and honor ancient heroes. Remarkably, the entire complex was built without cement, using only stone-fitting techniques and gravity, an architectural and aesthetic feat of the medieval world. So important is Angkor Wat to Cambodian identity that it appears on the national flag, one of the few national flags in the world to feature a building. Yet beyond the central temple lies an entire cosmic city still being uncovered. Angkor Thom with its four-faced Bayon statues, or Ta Prohm, overtaken by massive tree roots like something from a sci-fi film, each site a world of mystery and wonder. Angkor Wat is not merely a destination, it is the immortal message of Khmer civilization to the future, a reminder of the timeless fusion between faith, art, and enduring human spirit. Phnom Penh, easy living, rich experiences. In an era when the cost of living in Asian cities is soaring, Phnom Penh, Cambodia's capital, stands out as an ideal destination for expats seeking comfort without breaking the bank. With just around $500 per month, one can cover nearly all basic expenses, renting a modest but nice apartment in the city center, eating 3 healthy meals a day, commuting by tuk-tuk or motorbike, and still having enough left for coffee, exploration, or a riverside yoga class. Though affordable, the quality of life is far from low. Phnom Penh offers all the modern conveniences: European-style cafes, French vegetarian restaurants, well-equipped gyms, a vibrant expat community, and increasingly professional healthcare services. Especially appealing are the fresh food, friendly service, and unhurried lifestyle, with little traffic stress and a calm pace that draws people to stay longer than planned. For digital nomads, artists, or young couples who love slow living, Phnom Penh offers a place to live more with less. And it's not just Westerners. More and more Asians are also choosing Cambodia as a destination to rebalance life, to find a form of minimalism that inspires rather than restricts. In a world weighed down by material pressure and constant competition, Cambodia, through Phnom Penh, offers a different option: a life of quality without luxury, of depth without expense. Free love, sacred tradition, the Krung's unique balance. In a world rapidly swept toward modernization, where love often unfolds through phone screens and marriage bends under the pace of fast living, the Krung people, a minority community in northeastern Cambodia, quietly preserve a rare model, one where love is free, yet marriage remains sacred. As mentioned earlier in the Love Hut tradition, young Krung women are allowed to meet and get to know potential partners in private spaces without being overly controlled. However, this freedom does not equate to permissiveness. On the contrary, once a couple feels truly compatible, both families come together to hold a formal wedding ceremony, marking a transition not only for the couple, but for both family lines. The Krung believe that true love cannot be forced, but marriage must come with responsibility and long-term harmony. Within this model, they have achieved something modern societies are still struggling to balance: the equilibrium between individual choice and community expectations, between emotion and duty. This proves that indigenous communities are neither backward nor rigid. In fact, they may be ahead of their time by preserving traditional values without suppressing personal autonomy. It's a powerful lesson for modern urban societies, many of which are trading genuine emotion for material standards or social pressure. Row before you walk, Cambodian kids' early survival skills. In floating villages like Kampong Pluk and Kampong Kleng, where dry ground only appears during the dry season and water surrounds homes year-round, Cambodian children are born with an extraordinary ability to adapt. While city kids ride tricycles, children in these water-bound areas use aluminum pots, bamboo baskets, or even plastic containers as boats, learning to paddle before they can walk steadily. It's not uncommon to see a 2- or 3-year-old sitting confidently in a cooking pot, paddling skillfully across the water. Despite poverty and lack of material comforts, these children display resilience, independence, and survival skills shaped entirely by their environment. Their unique surroundings transform childhood into a kind of informal training ground, where discipline, courage, and resourcefulness are nurtured not by textbooks, but by daily life. Anthropologists studying Cambodia's floating villages often agree. Children here are living proof of humanity's remarkable capacity to adapt to harsh natural conditions. They don't learn from classrooms. They learn from water, wind, and the quiet confidence of parents who trust their kids to stay afloat through life's currents. This is more than a survival lesson. It is a powerful image of trust and inner strength in a generation born among the waves, but never drowned by them. The Cambodian Smile, a timeless living legacy. Cambodia may be renowned for its majestic Angkor temples, the ethereal grace of Apsara Dance, and its bold flavors, from prahok fish paste to creamy coconut curry. But what truly stays in the hearts of travelers isn't the monuments. It's the smile. A gentle, unhurried, and sincere smile that can be found everywhere. From tuk-tuk drivers, street vendors, and temple elders to children playing along the water's edge. In Khmer culture, a smile isn't just a social gesture. It's a way of life, a silent language of welcome, forgiveness, and hope. After decades of hardship, war, poverty, and the struggle to rebuild, Cambodians did not choose to respond with bitterness or withdrawal, but with kindness and open-heartedness. Travelers who have visited often say they don't remember the number of floors in their hotel or the price of food, but they always recall the eyes and smiles of the everyday people who treated them with heartfelt warmth. If Angkor Wat is Cambodia's architectural symbol, then the Cambodian smile is its spiritual one, a living heritage that needs no restoration, cannot be torn down, and is passed on daily through kindness, patience, and Khmer hospitality. They say Angkor Wat takes your breath away, but that Cambodian smile, it steals your heart and doesn't give it back. What's the kindest smile you've ever received on your travels? Share your story below. We're smiling already. From love huts and pink curtains to boat riding toddlers and timeless smiles, Cambodia is a place where tradition and imagination flow side by side. It's not just a country, it's a story still unfolding, told through stone carvings, sacred gestures, and the warmth of everyday life. Now it's your turn. What part of Cambodian culture surprised or inspired you the most? Let us know in the comments.